you, Linda. Love you.
The courthouse the other day in the hallway, you're singing "Oh Happy Day."
One word prayer. Justice, where are you?
And welcome to Justice Serve TV. I'm Michael Bryant.
Hi, everybody. I'm Linda Kenny Botton. Please, before we start, because I know I'm going to forget to do that, and I want to copy what our guest tonight, who's on his tour and be with us shortly, would normally say: smash that subscribe button.
Yeah, smash it.
Yeah, well, we've been on for about 9 months, really, and we're about 25,000 subscribers. Just smash that subscribe button. Hit that like button. If you hit the like button before even we're on the air, it gets us into the algorithm and spreads everything out. Also, the share button, okay? And then if you have to hit notify all, or else you don't get notified. And what I have found is it has to be from your iPhone or your iPad. Usually your iPhone is the best.
What?
And
Not Samsung or no other company, but Apple?
Phone. Well, I'm an Apple person. But anyhow, most people watch us, almost 75%, 77% some days, from a phone. Okay, very interesting. Yeah. Then the next would be a computer. Then the next would be a tablet. And the next would be I don't know. Okay.
Some watch on actual TVs, because you put the app on smart TVs and then it's like normal, a big old TV.
Right. Yeah. You have a big old TV if you have the room for a big old TV. Yes, Free Turbo.
Yes.
I will remind everybody that Aidan is just right now is finishing his dinner, is on his way to us, that we will not be taking super chats tonight. We will be asking you to donate to his defense fund. That's what this is about on his tour, because us lawyers, we're kind of expensive, all right? And hard to believe, but I will note that Joey Kane is here. Joey has already given Justice Serve TV membership as we wait for Aidan to come on. And of course, Aidan's defense fund, we're going to show it to you. Here it is. GiveSendGo.com GB83.
Well, that's a new one. I'm not familiar with that one.
Okay. Well, that's where that's where we've asked you. And Joey Kane, another, and we had the pleasure of meeting Joey for the first time during the day that Karen Reed was freed.
He brought me a meal of food. Actually,
he brought you a meal of food. That's something I know you're gonna
ask
Aidan about.
I never did find out if he made that at home or because I've told you about that great pastry shop there in Dedham, catty corner to the pizza place. It's like heaven.
That's why when I go looking for you every morning, you're always working out earlier than I am.
When I'm here, not when I'm up there, man. I'm a slacker when I'm up there. It's brutal.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
So before we have some rip and read, we have actually one rip and read. We have two rip and read headlines actually, which I will as our new beginning.
Well, if we do have that, stand by.
That's go ahead. That's the newsroom sound that we used to hear.
People buzzing.
I think the rip and read is that the Trump administration has released the FBI records on MLK Jr. despite his family's opposition. That'll be the subject of a whole show later on. And of course, we also have in a rip and read, Glenn Maxwell's arranging an interview with the DOJ brass as his Supreme Court appeal looms. Those will be subjects of different shows. But we see that our guest of honor, who is back from his and Michael Bryant is dying to ask you this, Aidan Kearney.
I know, because I've heard it so many times. You're just back from Aidan first. How are you? Thanks for joining, buddy.
How are you doing?
Thanks.
Good.
And this is kind of crazy, but we wanted to give some prayer if you're a Catholic or if you pray, or some adulation to Ozzy Osbourne, who passed today.
I saw that.
1970s. They really started with Black Sabbath. The whole metal movement. But there was one song that he did after he went on his own, and it was called Bark at the Moon. Now, Michael Bryant thinks I'm crazy for this, Aidan, but everyone knows me.
I just said it's a reach, but knock yourself out.
But not he had a song called Bark at the Moon, and it was about a werewolf creature that came back to terrorize a town, making him the Iron Man of the 80s. But we want to have the Iron Man of the next 2 decades, 3 decades, 4 decades going over. That is you. You are Iron Man. All right. And I look at
cool.
terrorizing. I look at terrorizing in a good way. I think that, quite frankly, people have to be terrorized. That's what journalism is about. It's not just about sitting there. It's about terrorizing. You are our hero. That's why we're so pleased that you're on your whore tour. And with that, I'm going to actually turn this over to Michael Bryant.
Yeah, I want to make sure we are on the whore tour still, right? It hasn't morphed into
yes,
something
that's
else.
Correct. I'm not
good.
Not done whoring myself out yet.
Good. And we put up your is it Go Send? What is I've not seen that.
Give, Send, Go.
Yeah.
Defense fund. That up and there we go. There it is.
Yeah. No super chats, no money to us. Just donate to Aidan. Everything to Aidan, please, because we've been supporting him. He didn't know us. We came into this the first day. We're challenged by whatever that Hardman guy, trooper was, and decided to sue right away because we believe that journalism, the First Amendment, was the most important thing that could be done out of this case, besides a not guilty verdict. But I'm a defense lawyer, so what people don't really pay attention to me when I say that. So
we started thinking about, and I give LKB the credit or blame for this, we started to come up with an anagram for the whore tour. And so W is the first letter. And so we're going to talk about Brian Walsh for a couple of seconds. He's the W in the whore tour.
Okay.
You posted something which reflected the same thought I had about this case, how, this guy's a monster, okay? However that evidence was collected, legally or illegally, I don't think anybody would defend the man. But the problem is the process was screwed up, right? They didn't do things the right way. They obtained this evidence illegally, in my opinion. But if the judge decides to suppress it, they may not have enough to go forward with the trial.
I mean, I don't know. It would be pretty ballsy move of a judge, don't you think, to throw that one out?
Well, I've come up with, there's a theory in the law called inevitable discovery, and it gives the judge kind of an out. If the judge can craft an explanation that says, okay, X, Y, and Z, all of that location information, which was the key stuff that was used, that was not part of the permission, the consent, which is a whole other weird thing. It's not a search warrant. It was given by consent. Here, take a look at my phone. Take a look at my kid's tablet. He can say that normal police practices and investigative skills, they would have found this stuff anyway. That's inevitable discovery. So I think that's the get out of jail, so to speak, free card for the judge if this stuff is going to come in
plain view. That's what they say, right? Like when somebody's got cocaine lying on the the coffee table, they could see it in the apartment. That gives them reason to go in the apartment. It's like the same basis, right? They're saying that, like, well, we would have seen it anyway. It was in plain view. The Google's, I don't know. But
yeah, it's kind of a similar concept, but yeah, it's basically saying to the cops, I don't care, you screwed up. We don't care. You would have found this anyway.
For sure.
I'm surprised that it hasn't been a ruling yet. Are you surprised?
With Walsh?
Yeah.
Well, did they file a motion to dismiss? Did they actually argue it?
The suppression.
Oh, I honestly haven't been following that trial as closely as others, so I wish I had more to comment on with that, but I don't.
Okay, so here, forget the Walsh trial. If you have this madman, this Frankenstein monster, and the cops violate the rules, okay? And you also have in Norfolk County, you got King, and we're going to talk a little bit about the King case because of Lowry. Do the voters need all these bad people, these Franken monsters, to go free before they're going to do something and vote and change the administration?
Well, that's what I said in a tweet the other day. That was my thoughts exactly, that you need something bad to happen in order for people to really get outraged about this, to want to, I mean, nobody's mad about Karen Reed because Karen Reed's innocent. So and everybody knows it. That's why literally no one is worried at all about her being freed because she's kind of harmless. Like she's never hurt anyone and everyone knows it. And so who cares if Karen Reed's freed? Whereas with all these other cases, it's the bad guys probably did it. So them going free, a lot of these people, it's going to make people feel uneasy.
A little bit uneasy, although there is an argument that unless you're involved in drug dealing with King or you want to marry Brian Walsh, you're really not at risk. But I just think you've got such a corrupt system there. So what else do they need besides these two cases? But if these two cases then get passed by, then all that stuff gets washed away, which is what's happened across the United States with cops generally, Aidan. All this stuff, you get a guilty verdict or somebody pleads, and then it gets washed away. So nothing ever changes. It just gets worse. And the worst ends up in Karen Reed. The worst ends up being the Karen Reed type case.
Yeah. Yeah. What was the question? Sorry.
So I'm sorry. So if the worst, so how do you change it? You're starting from Norfolk County. How do you branch out and get this message out? Okay, because you are Aidan Kearney, you're Turtleboy. You're starting from Norfolk County. You're still trying to get that changed out there. How do we branch it out? Because it's happening across the United States, every single place in America.
Go on the YouTube machine, right? I mean, YouTube can reach anywhere. That's the beauty of this all, right? It's like. I look at my audience now. It's like most people are not from Massachusetts. So I would argue that we're doing that already.
And so the YouTube is where it is. And that's
sure.
People always argue with us and say, YouTube, what kind of station is that?
That's only Jennifer in Boston. Jennifer
Donahue. Yeah.
Jennifer, figure it out. Figure it out.
Yeah, they need to get with the times so that like Patreon Grant qualifies as a journalist because he has a Patreon that doesn't even update.
And then you got the other guy.
Everyone's on. I mean, even I have a website, tbdailynews.com, but I write much more on Twitter and on YouTube than I do on my own website. So it's just so stupid. I mean, everyone's a journalist who wants to be a journalist. Period. So. If Grant could be a journalist, then literally everyone is a journalist.
What I didn't like was they have their own definition, Rule 1:19. And it says in the rule that anybody that reports on matters of public interest, regularly, and it says any medium. Well, come on. How do you ignore the most popular, most watched medium, YouTube, on the planet?
Yeah.
You just look like an idiot. So I called Jennifer an idiot a few times. I'm not sure it's going to help me get a credential next time I move on up there. But the folks, let me get your take on this as I wander off into another direction. Chief Rose, who ran the courthouse there, he seemed to be a pretty good dude, pretty straight shooter. Did you have any connections with him? Any interactions with him?
With who? Sorry,
Chief Rose. Chief Rose. Tim
Rose. Yeah. I mean, I have no issue with him. He ran his courthouse pretty tight, and I know his sister. She's a Karen Reed supporter, but I have no issues with Tim Rose.
Yeah, no, I thought he was a pretty cool dude. He took me in and wandered me around the courtroom before the second trial began, long before I didn't get a credential. He even reached out to Jennifer, and she said, "I'll look into it." Of course, there were crickets after that, but he was always appropriate. And a good guy. I just wondered what your experience with him was.
Yeah, I mean, he's runs a tight ship, I guess. Not really the most personable guy, but
he seemed like Joe Friday. Just the facts, ma'am. Just
I don't have any problem with him.
Okay, so talking about the Brian Walsh and the Kings case, Lally was cross-examined. We're going to do a whole show on that separately, but I had some real issues with Lally. In many ways, I almost thought he was. Oh, really? In many ways, I thought he was almost worse than who was Spanky? Who was what? I just want to put his name out of my memory right now. All right, because he sat there with this trial, and instead of correcting Spanky, he just sat there, especially when it came to that shirt with the holes in it. Didn't get up there and didn't say anything. And I thought that was simply outrageous. To me, that should be an ethics complaint. So I have a question for you. Do you know if there's been any ethics complaints filed against Adam Lally, who's been there for 20 years? So he's part of the system.
I don't. I've not heard of any ethics complaints filed against him.
Would you think of filing one?
I don't even know how to do that. Have you filed one? Have you?
No, but we're thinking about it because in most states, anyone can file an ethics complaint against an attorney if you think that the conduct is unprofessional. And I don't see how you can sit there, whether you were him or was it McLaughlin sitting there, and not correct Hank Brennan for those inaccuracies. And there was a number of them. There was the inaccuracy about Yanetti's Court TV interview. There was the inaccuracy about the Rule 14 discovery. And then there was the big one about the, obviously, about the shirt. And no, I cannot believe. And then we could also talk about the x-rays too. I can't believe that we could all be sitting here and no one has filed an ethics complaint against him because he had a duty to stand up. So that was my question. As a journalist, should the three of us be filing ethics complaints? I'm going to give you a hard one.
I have no problem. I'll do it.
Yeah, I could, I guess. I just not on my to-do list of things to do. I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you. Like, it's not going to do anything. So why would I waste my time? Is my question. Like, yeah, I could be like, oh, we're going to write this ethics complaint, take 30, 45 minutes out of my day, write it, and then it gets lost in the cyberspace and they ignore it. So why did I just waste 30 minutes of my time? That's honestly my thoughts on it. Like, why would I waste a second of my time doing something that will result in absolutely nothing? I think once you come to the realization that they don't give a shit about anything, you learn how to not waste your time as much on stuff. Like, they don't care. They just did a whole murder trial of a woman that everyone knows is innocent. And there's people outside protesting and the whole world's watching them and the whole world's like disgusted by them. And guess what? They don't give a shit. So no, I'm not going to waste one single second of my very precious time filing an ethics complaint that will get lost in cyberspace and go absolutely nowhere. No, thank you.
No. Well, they give a shit about you. They give a shit about trying to shut you down, obviously.
Yeah, and I get that. And I can sit here and cry about it all I want. Oh, it's not fair. Hank gets to do this and Lally gets to do this and you never hold them accountable. But I don't want to be the whiny little bitch crying about shit. I just want to get the W and move on. That's it. I don't give a shit. Lally can work there the rest of his life. And like, whatever, I don't care. Like, he doesn't affect my life at all. Everybody knows what a piece of shit Adam Lally is. Everyone knows what a piece of shit Hank Brennan is. The point, wherever they go, whenever they go out to eat dinner, people are going to be looking at them, pointing at them. They did this, they did that. We're not going to get them fired though. Like, it's never, this is Massachusetts. People don't get fired from their jobs. Like, you have to do what Michael Proctor did. Even that took a lot to get that guy fired. So no, I don't want to sound defeatist, but I've lived in this state long enough to know I'm not going to waste a second of my precious time writing letters or, petitioning the government or writing this. They don't care. They're just going to ignore you. That's why I show up at people's houses. That's what I like to do. I don't file complaints. I don't write emails. I don't do that because that does nothing. They can just ignore you. I like showing up to people's homes with a megaphone, disrupting the neighborhood. That's what I like to do because that's actually gets their attention. And now it's like, oh, you thought this shit was cute, huh? You guys were ignoring me and, putting your little, I'm filing complaints and you're like, oh, look at this idiot filing a complaint. Oh, this idiot. I mean, that's what Sue O'Connell recommended we all do. Write emails to Michael Morrissey. Oh yeah. Good luck with that one, Stu.
Yeah,
that's
not going to work.
No, they don't care.
Yeah.
Show up to Michael Morrissey's grandkids soccer game if you want to make a difference. That's what you should. If you want to get your attention, that's what you do. And people are like, oh my God, no, not children's sporting events. Fuck them. Fuck their sporting events. I'm sorry. These people framed an innocent woman for murder. I'm sorry. Don't frame people for murder and your kids' soccer events won't get disrupted.
And that's what, when you had like the Supreme Court, I know you pointed out that there was the Supreme Court, there's all these voting events going on. But when you show up at their house because of a decision, all of a sudden they're calling the cops. We're scared. We're this, we're that. Or even some alleged journalists from different networks. Oh, we're scared. Your people are outside our house with a megaphone. But that's what needs to be done for change. I mean, you have to be willing to get out there and, I see somebody using the word heckle. I don't think heckling. I think you have to be out there and be loud. I think you have to get out there and be loud. I mean, I
like heckling.
You like heckling instead of I like loud.
A lot. Yeah, I like them both. Both, the combination of them both. Go to a Yankees game. You'll see plenty of that. Plenty where that came from. You can buy a ticket. You can go to a Yankees Red Sox game. You can boo anyone you want, as long as they're not a witness in a case, and then you're going to jail.
And that's the problem with your statute, which is unconstitutional.
Yeah.
And that's why it has to go up. But for the statute to go up to be unconstitutional, you're going to have to get convicted.
Yeah.
And I don't want that,
Yeah. I'm not going to be convicted.
You're not going to be convicted. No,
No,
I think. Yeah, right.
And so the statute won't change, but that's it's going to be challenged at some point. It has to be.
We're working on it. We're working on it. Yep.
Okay, let's go to the H now of the horror tour, and this is kind of a bigger, broad category. Her, and under the first subcategory of her, we have Kate Peters. So she kind of got hers. I guess somebody's got convicted in this whole universe up there. Tell us your thoughts on that, and you
Somebody
know,
got
Kate
convicted?
Peter. Yeah.
Okay, Krusty.
Kate Peters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't have the code name. I used her actual name. Sorry.
Yeah. She pled guilty to threatening. So the special prosecutor called me the other day to ask about this, and they said that the judge really wants to move this along for trial, and that what if they offered a deal, because they're talking about offering a deal where she pleads guilty to threatening, which is a misdemeanor, which she was not initially charged with. She was charged with witness intimidation, which is a felony. And I'm like, thought about it. I talked to my lawyers about it, and I said, yeah, fuck it. I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, even though I want a conviction, I want to be able to call her a convicted criminal. Like, that's what I want to refer to as. And that's what she is from now on. She's convicted criminal Krusty, right? That's what she is. Convicted criminal Krusty. And that is the person, because I want to be able to point at the state police and the Norfolk DA's office and say, you guys used a convicted criminal as your only source of evidence in your indictment against me. That's who you trusted. Somebody who's an admitted forgerer, right? She admitted to doing that with YouTube 5 years ago, filing a fraudulent federal complaint, right? But now she's also a convicted criminal. And so I took it and I'm like, yeah, I'm down with that, because I mean, I was pretty sure that, you know how these trials work. Like, you never know what you're going to get. Like,
Right.
so, and you know, who knows? I just don't trust the justice system that much. And so if she's going to plead guilty, the fact that she pled guilty to that, she's not the type to plead guilty. She knows she was in trouble. Like, she knows that, like, taking that to trial, felony, witness intimidation, like, if you got convicted there, you could go to jail for that. You know, I think it's unlikely that she would go to jail for that, but like, then you're a convicted felon, which sounds even worse than a convicted criminal, which is what she is now.
So why does she hate you?
Yeah, why is she still going after you?
Why?
Yeah, why?
How much time you got? You want me the whole story?
I mean, she's just all in on getting you.
Yeah, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like yeah.
She'd rather get you than Brian Walsh.
What gave you that idea?
You know, wild guess.
Gee.
Smart.
Yeah, she's a little bit obsessed. I mean, her every single day of her life is dedicated to me, and every tweet she makes, every post she makes, it's all about me.
Yeah, and her couch. She got a good couch out of it, I guess. I don't know. It's unbelievable. But has she got on these shows? Has she been on these shows to be questioned?
On what shows?
Any show, any YouTube show that involves, somebody.
It's called Yellow Cottage Tales.
That's the only one, right?
Yeah.
That's the one who tweeted about today about the other case that we're going to talk about, Yellow Cottage Tales. That's the only one. But she won't go on places like us, and she's not going to go on any of.
She might.
Let's invite her.
Yeah, reach out to her and ask. She should come on.
Yeah, let's invite her.
Should.
Let's see how. Let's see how many sneakers she has.
She went on Brother Council.
Good. All right, let's invite her on, and we'll
do it.
We'll
yeah,
deal with that.
I would love to see that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I couldn't wait. And remind her, Missy,
and
when you ask her.
JFK. She went on JFK too.
All right, remind her.
Okay, well, she's been around.
She's been around. Remind her, Missy, that she can try to, come on, but we're not scared of her. I mean, I sit next to people who are accused of shooting people in the head. All right, that's who I defend. So I'm not scared of her. So let her come on. You got balls? You got sneakers?
Ooh,
come on.
Come on.
And
she may have balls.
And she may have.
I don't know. She may.
Yeah.
She may
She's a big
actually.
girl.
Missy,
She may.
you can send out the invitation even during the show. Missy said,
I will guarantee you money she's watching right now. There is nothing that whenever I'm live, whenever I do anything, she is sitting there watching every minute of it, and has been doing this nonstop for the last 5.5 years now. Her entire life is dedicated to me. You've never had a stalker like this. You never will. And like I said, we didn't even have like any sort of relationship, that like any romantic relationship or anything of the sort. So there's just no reason for her to be this hung up on me. It's just a pure obsession, the likes of which you'll never experience. It's just wild.
And do you think
Too bad she wasn't obsessed. It's too bad she wasn't obsessed romantically with Brian Walsh. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't really say
Or
that, did I?
or her kids.
Or her kid. So is this going to slow her down or no?
No.
Okay.
No, she's incapable of that. Like in her mind, like the cope that she's had over the last 24 hours online about this, that this was like, I'm only guilty of a misdemeanor, not a felony. Winning. Like that was her cope with this whole thing. And it's just like, yeah, but I've been convicted of nothing. And
Right.
I'm never going to be convicted of anything.
Right.
And you can bring all these charges on me all you want. It means Jack Diddley in the end, because no one's gonna convict me. I can't imagine this ever going to trial. I mean, could you guys imagine me in trial? Like, I just can't imagine. We're gonna bring the whole gang back together. Julie Nagel, Jennifer McCabe, everyone's coming back to testify. Elizabeth Proctor is going to take the stand. She's going to get eviscerated by Mark Betterow and Tim Bradle. Like, come on, they're really going to do this? Okay, if they want to do this, we can do this. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good idea.
They don't want to do it because they don't want to release the texts. I can tell you right now, they don't want to release all these texts. You know them, you've seen them, but they don't want the public.
Well, the texts are getting released one way or another. So there's
Oh,
no way
yeah, they're
around
going to get
that.
released because you're going to be suing, I assume, to get them and to get them out. I mean, they should be, but they're going to try to avoid it because that's what they're scared about. And tell me about Cosgrove. I mean, everyone thought he was like this, like old, dotting around old guy, but he really has got some real nasty streak in him. And last time we watched.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that. I mean, he's a dinosaur. He likes. You can tell he likes being like, feels like rejuvenated again, kind of doing this. But when we had that trial with Lindsay Gattani last month, he got a little pep in his step all of a sudden, and he's surprised. He did that whole thing with Meredith, and I wasn't that impressed. I mean, he's slow. He's not landing any punches. Like, it's just, and he lost. I mean, ultimately in that, we've had one trial. We beat him. Like, you failed, Cosgrove. Like, if you want to keep losing to Turtleboy, you can keep doing that. I know it doesn't matter to him because he's getting paid either way doing this. But at the end of the day, he's out of his league.
Yeah, he's like the Washington Generals going up against the Globetrotters. He's there. He serves a purpose, but he has nothing to lose, really. He's got nothing to lose. He's over. He's done. So this is just a little extra check, a little extra cash.
Okay,
Sure.
So in our her of the
yes,
hardcore,
second part.
we have the
second part.
Walsh, we have the Kate Peter, and then Jessica. Tell us about
Jessica Leslie. I'll just ask you straight out. Was she leaking stuff to you for the grand jury?
Nope, not at all. And it's the biggest lie ever. I've spoken to her attorney, and I sent him a couple emails back and forth. Let me see if I've gotten any back. I haven't checked my email yet. Hold on one sec. Let me see this. Yeah, he wrote me back. Okay, he wants me to call him. So
Good.
so I'll probably call him after this. But basically, I've been talking to him back and forth. I'll read my email to him. I said to him, that, let's see. Are you able to confirm or deny whether Jessica, quote, gave up other people as part of her plea deal, specifically me? I know she didn't, but it would go a long way to quell the rumors if her attorney could comment on that.
Okay. And
he said, I have prepared a statement that I'd like to give to the media at court tomorrow. Ooh. Jessica has not agreed. This is yesterday he wrote this. Jessica has not agreed to have me say anything. I am okay showing it to you only if you agree that it is off the record until she approves, which she may not do. And then he sends me the letter, which obviously now I've agreed to keep off the record. Right. But it is, let's just say that, like, it's very clear in this, like, and he's willing to he needs her approval to give this statement publicly, but he makes, like, she did not flip on anyone. She did not turn anyone to some bigger fish. She's quite simply a woman who is pleading guilty to text messaging a now former friend about the tea, as they call it, that she witnessed as a member of the federal grand jury when all these scumbags testified. She was there in the room for it. She texted her friend about it. And at no time, so her friend, I didn't know her friend's name or anything, like, and her friend was on Twitter and has messaged me many times over the years. Like, our messages go way back. At no point did this friend, who was getting messages from the grand juror about the Karen Reed case and other investigations, like the CDL case, at no time did she ever mention to me, "Hey, Turtleboy, I have a friend on the grand jury." Like, "Oh, you got to get a load of this." No, she didn't even mention it. And so I'll read the message that she sent me, if you'll give me one moment. This is what the source told me. She said, okay, I go, "I think it would help if I showed our old messages and showed that not once did you ever message me about anything about the grand jury." And then the source messages back to me and says, "Well, I never did. That would be really dumb because obviously you have a big audience and would share that information and the government would see that and know. So I would never tell you. I obviously knew it was a secret, even though everyone knew the existence of the grand jury and even knew who was there. People literally sat outside there taking pictures and stuff. It's public. Small pieces of info did get dropped on Twitter. Even Plevin and Grant wrote stuff that wasn't in the public info, and it was fact, but nobody would know, of course. How did they know? Not from me or you." And she goes, "I don't even recall you ever even sharing anything private. Like, Grant and Plevin knew more about the federal investigation than you did. Even the Sea Monster account knew more than you did." So, like, I knew shit. And so this source is like telling me that, like, yeah, obviously I didn't tell you anything because you're Turtleboy. You were gonna then we'd be busted if that happened. So obviously, we're not doing that. So would have compromised the whole grand jury. She's just told one friend, and that's it. And so
I love this.
She's not in trouble. I mean, she's like, that's why she's gotten such a lenient sentence, because it was no big deal. Okay. It was just simply, and the lawyer fully admits, and she fully admits, that was illegal what I did. That was stupid what I did. I should not have done that. But it was an isolated incident in which I sent one person, I just gossiping with her about the case. And I never thought it would see the light of day. I never gave her permission to pass these messages on to anyone else. She never did pass these messages on to anything else. The reason that they got caught is because the friend made a tweet about the CDL guys getting the CDL scandal indictments about 5 days before the announcement was made about the indictments. She was posting about it on Twitter, and that caught the attention of the FBI because there's only one way to know that. And and then they realized this account, who was an anonymous account, which means they subpoenaed Twitter and they got her information. And so they realized that, like, they tracked this woman down, and I guarantee it's the FBI. They probably tracked down all your known associates and whoever, but they probably knew before they even spoke with her exactly who she was talking to on that grand jury. And they took her phone, went through it. Remember, they read Michael Proctor's messages without ever taking his phone. They can just read your messages, apparently. So they just go on the cloud and read it all. And they realize, okay, she's talking to a grand juror, and they don't ask you questions they don't know the answers to. When they went up to her and asked her, like, did you talk to someone on the grand jury? Like, they know the answer to that. They know exactly who she's been talking to. And so they got her messages too. And if there were any messages on either of their phones, right, which they both have, the government has both their phones, right, with me, with Karen Reed, with anyone associated with this case, right, that was leaking grand jury information to them, it would be a much bigger deal. But It wouldn't even be illegal, by the way, if they did do that, because it's not illegal to receive information that you didn't solicit. Like if somebody just sends you information, you don't have to put your fingers in your ear and say, I didn't hear that, you know?
Nope,
But,
you do not. And that's why, especially if they send it to a journalist, there's no paper, there's no like Watergate tapes and all things like that.
Yeah.
People should take a look at the history.
Pentagon Papers.
All right?
Yeah.
Pentagon Papers, all that kind of stuff. Thank you for laying that all out, because that's great. We're going to probably break that out, retweet that tomorrow. And you know what? For the people that are trying to make it a big thing of this, including Lamplighter 1630,
Dag Nabbit.
Dag Nabbit, we have something to say to you. Go fuck yourself. All right. We are spicy.
You should. I mean, she's out of control.
No, because these people are. That's exactly, they're out of control. And if we're going to do a whore tour on this channel, we're gonna talk about this stuff, Aidan. Now, we get a little spicy sometimes.
Yeah, gotta do it. You gotta do it.
You gotta do it, right?
Okay, so that takes us right to the O. What's your O in the whore tour? You're calling it open mic?
Open mic. Open mic. So we want to solicit the most
outrageous,
crazy, outrageous question. Put it right there in your chat right now in the open mic, because we want to solicit the most simply outrageous question that you could ask Aidan, that you think is outrageous, that you think he may not ask, especially if you're crusty and you're in this, right? Ask away, because we are not afraid of this, okay? So everyone says, boom, they're here for it, but I need you to give me a question, okay?
Are you curating? Are you curating these?
I'm curating. So far, I see a lot of things about liking my earrings, okay? And
that's it. Aidan, that's what I got to deal with. That's the stuff I got to deal with.
But did Aidan ever hug Krusty? There you go. Here's an outrageous question. Here's an open mic. Here we're at a comedy show. Speaking about open mics, by the way, I just want to let you know that Thursday, speaking about open mics and comedy, Auntie Deb is going to make his first appearance on this show, because we know you want Auntie Deb to interview you, so make his first appearance. So we have that, and we have a secondary question.
Can we get an answer to the question, or are we just moving on here?
Did you ever hug Krusty?
I don't think I ever did.
I think you would remember that. I think you would remember.
I mean, I used to be friendly with her because she worked for me, but I think I only met her in person like twice. And no, I didn't hug her. Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Now we're really going to put you on the spot. Peppermint Patty, Peppermint PL. Are you going to marry Meredith? Oh, okay. We're going right past that one. Who would win a fight, Superman or Batman? Okay. I mean, these are like, come on, guys. This is all you got. Come on, give us some hard questions. Come on. Give us some hard questions, Ray. This is the open. You are in a comedy hour or whatever. Marriage is a dying institution. Tell that to my husband after 25 years. Okay.
Yeah,
would you listen to this one? This is a disgusting one. Would you sleep? Why does everyone have to talk about sex?
No.
Would you sleep with KP to drop the charges?
No. I would not be doing that. No, let's beat it. I'll beat it the legal way.
Yeah. Okay. Spacey Stacy, Aidan, if the Commonwealth says they'll drop all the charges, but docs remain sealed forever, do you take the deal or roll the dice to expose them for the crooked fucks they are?
It's the drop all charges. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, you want the truth?
Yeah.
I would just, I'd be like, yeah, sure, drop the charges. And then I would just like secretly leak the documents to someone else and have them publish them and be like, I don't know how that happened. Prove it.
Well, we screwed that plan. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's what I would do if I was given that option.
Yeah. All right. This is an interesting one. Who would you rather see in jail, Krusty or Jen McCabe?
Good question. Good question. Jen McCabe.
Why?
Because she killed a man. And she's evil, and she is just as responsible for my charges as Krusty, just as responsible.
Interesting. This is a real deep answer, everyone. That was a great question. A really deep answer. Okay.
I had to think about that one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. By the way, I told you we're going to hold Jack. We're holding all super chats. Not asking Aidan. Please donate to his defense fund. Anything you would have given us. Lauren has a good question. Have you ever spoken to the FBI regarding your own cases?
Yes, we have spoken to the FBI. I reached out to an agent once, And so my attorneys were in regular contact with Adam Deach, and especially when I was in jail, they were talking to them a bunch. But he said that most of their questions they were really interested in the Reed case. Every time Tim spoke to them about my situation, like they just wanted to know how it pertained to the Karen Reed case. So they were very interested in that case. You could tell that was like high on their priority list, which is why I'm, even more surprised really that not much, nothing substantive came of it as far as charges or anything like that so far.
Okay. Interesting. Good question, guys. All right. Legal-minded friends. All right. This is Michael Bryan. What's your favorite meal of food? Because Michael Bryan is like obsessed with your meal of food comment.
Yeah, I got railroaded out at the top of I wanted to know because you just finished a meal of food. Where does that term come from? Is that a Massachusetts thing or what? I've never heard that before. I heard you say that.
Well, it comes from the movie Old School.
I love that movie. I just don't remember that.
Yeah, it's a scene Will Ferrell uses it in one hilarious. He asks his ex-wife to go out for a whole. We can go out to get something to eat, or maybe a whole meal of food. He says, and so that's
okay. The first time I heard you say it was over and over again with the confrontation on the street there outside of I think D&E.
Yes, the C.F. McCarthy's incident, 622.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad I got that cleared up, and I will watch that again with a whole different look.
Let's do a couple more. Would you, Turtleboy, ever go on Yellow Cottage Tales?
I mean, probably not. It would I'd be lowering myself if I did that. And it would just be a waste of time.
Yeah, and he doesn't need to do that. All right, so this is one that is on us. They think you're uncomfortable answering these questions. They want you to tell a joke. I don't think we're here for a joke, but if you want to tell a joke, go tell a joke. Tell us anything.
I don't have any jokes. Sorry.
Here's what's interesting, because Aidan, you're funny. You're a funny guy, right? But it's like experiential funny, right? It's things that happen. You're a funny spin on them, but it's not like, okay, be funny, right?
You can't just plug me in and turn me on. Like that's not how it works, unfortunately.
Yeah. And it's not a funny. I mean, he still has charges against him. This is not a funny situation.
A way to bring us down. We're trying to, get through this, and
and all. So why don't we move on from the open mic to the R in the horror tour?
Okay, wait. I have one more.
Okay.
Do you ever regret confronting the McAlberts in person? I think I know the answer, but go ahead.
Not at all. I loved doing it, and it was the right
do it
thing
again.
to do.
I'm guessing.
Well, if I don't know if I'd do it again because I'm on bail.
Now you've got issues. Yeah. I got you.
If I did it again, I'd go right to jail for sure. That'd be right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I have one. I do have one.
You have one more? Okay.
All right. We all come from DNA, right? Who is more influential in terms of who you have become? Grandparents, mother, father, who? Who's the most influential person in your life to make you, Aidan Kearney, Dr. Turtleboy?
Probably my mother would be in my number one. But she's not she wasn't exactly like me. Like she wouldn't have like the foul language. She wouldn't have, I guess I am my own creation. I guess, I would say like the Worcester public schools really shaped me, just as much as I would say the Worcester public schools really made me who I am. How about that for an answer?
Okay.
That's right. Any particular teacher?
No, just like the school, their environment. It's growing up in an environment like that. It was rugged growing up in the woods. Like I went to some rough schools. Like I went to Sullivan Middle School and South High School. Like those are rough schools, and you see some crazy shit inside those schools. And just kind of, I don't know how to describe it. It's just when I taught at Shepherd Hill, it was just a completely different experience from the experience I had in high school. So kind of made me who I am, if you will.
The tough streets of Worcester. I hear Worcester's getting a little more gentrified, getting some infusion of something there. Are you seeing that, and do you approve?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I moved to Holden like 9 years ago, so I don't go to Worcester that often unless you need something. But like when I do go downtown, I went to a Woo Sox game the other day, and it's like, wow, I hardly even recognize this place anymore. Looks. I have to admit, it looks nice. Like it looks bad. I did not think Worcester could ever look like this. And I grew, my initial back in the day, 2014, 2015, 2016, I made my bones reporting on like Worcester politics and like shitting on the Worcester mayor and the establishment. And I mocked the idea that Worcester could ever become like a gentrified, somewhat nice area, but I was wrong. It looks okay down there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, speaking of, before we move on, sorry, Worcester, that's a pronunciation. Every time I go up there, I would share with Linda, okay, here's the word. I will spell it for you. Then you pronounce it how you think it should be pronounced. The last one I think we did was Peabody. And of course, that's Peabody. Mm-hmm. And Quincy, that's Quincy. And there's Worcester. There's a town that was involved in the case we already talked about here with Miss Peter, Leominster, I think it is, but it's pronounced Leominster. Is that right? Leominster. Leominster. There's another syllable in there.
Leominster is, it's an important city. It's like Johnny Appleseed's from Leominster, and
really?
That's what they're famous for. And Leominster is a great high school football program, and so they have produced several big names, including Noah Gray, who is the other tight end on the Kansas City Chiefs. Who he was a quarterback at Leominster High School. So they're a prolific high school football town. And just living in Holden, it's like where we go. It's like where everything, not much is in Holden. So you either got to go to Worcester or Leominster for everything.
Okay, good. That's another one for my list. Okay. That one you now know, Linda, so I can't pull that.
No, you can't. I can't. Yeah. And I remember I spent all the time trying Hernandez double murder case to the not guilty. But I was in
Aaron Hernandez died in Leominster. It's right. It's about 15 minutes away from Shirley Mack's prison, so that's the closest hospital that they went to. There you go.
Still carry the letter he wrote to me the night before he died.
Really?
Yeah. Because I sat next to him the whole time in the trial. I was his second mother, so to speak.
Wow. And so that was his. It was like the day after his acquittal, right?
It was almost. We came back. It was. We woke up on the Monday morning. We couldn't believe it. We just couldn't believe it. But that was, remember, he had been outed by some show for being gay. Something, by the way, I'll tell you a little secret about it. The prosecution wanted to try to out him during the trial the whole time, and we prevented it.
I knew he was gay a long time before that because I know his prison boyfriend. A lot of people don't. What about Kyle Kennedy? I wrote so many blogs about Kyle Kennedy, the prison boyfriend there, who was
teardrop.
He just died a few months ago, by the way. Kyle Kennedy did. Shocking the way he lived his life, but yeah.
He had the teardrop, but we got the double homicide acquittal after the whole jury knew he'd already been convicted of murder. But that was also prosecutorial. It wasn't prosecutorial misconduct. The two prosecutors were okay, but it was police misconduct because we found the one witness that proved he was not guilty. But that's another story. That's for a different time. But I've got the letter.
That doesn't fit into our anagram here.
It's just that sometimes it comes up and it bothers me so much that it was such a. It's something that's always going to live with me, and I just blurted out. Anyhow, you got the R, Michael.
Oh yeah, R. This one is interesting because this is something you brought to my attention through Dizzy, one of our mod producers, and that is Shawn Paul Reyes. He's the R, Reyes. And I'll share with you some breaking news here. Wait a second. If we truly have breaking news, I think I'm required to do this. Close your ears. This is Come on. Okay, so this Friday is the hearing, right? 9-ish, 10-ish. Pool camera will be just to serve TV.
Oh, really? In New London? You're going
in New London.
Wow.
So here's how that evolved. First of all, those who don't know, this is something that hits a little closer to home for me than Massachusetts. But this guy runs a little something called Long Island Audit, which I'm not familiar with that whole universe of audit people. Mm. But I guess it's a thing, and he's got like almost 1 million subs, right?
There's a lot of channels, a lot of auditors out there.
So he's basically, muckraking, ferreting out budgets and seeing who's getting overpaid and where the money's being misspent and fraud and abuse and all that. So he finds this sergeant with the Connecticut State Troopers who has gotten $75,000 in overtime. He's a desk sergeant. So he wants to confront the guy and say, why the hell are you getting $75,000 in overtime? You're a desk sergeant. Aren't your hours kind of controlled? It's not like you're putting out fires or arresting people last minute. So the guy did not appreciate him confronting him on his porch. And I don't want to spend a lot of time with that video. You can find it, everybody, if you want it. But you probably know, Aidan, that Brian Leahy is a goddamn Connecticut State Trooper.
He's a goddamn Connecticut.
You probably know that. So Dizzy sends me a note and says, "Hey, Aidan's got this video. I tuned it in, and you had just about connected with Mr. Reyes, who was on the road somewhere, and he pulls over so he can talk with you about it." It's such an outrageous event that I immediately reached out to the court. And I said, I want a credential. I want to get in there for this thing. And spoke to Rhonda, who could not be more lovely and the antithesis of Jennifer if she tried. She was great. And she said, well, are you prepared to be pool on this? I said, I got to be honest with you. I'm putting in this request because I want to make sure somebody captures it, somebody. But if one of the locals want to do it, great. That's fine too. I got a call today from the court administrator saying, you're the winner. You're the lucky winner. So we're going to record it, and then FSB, I think it is, they will take my disc, and they will disseminate it to whoever wants it, so that we're kind of tag teaming in that sense. But I'll set up and record it. It may be not much of anything. It's technically an arraignment, but it is the first court appearance and the first opportunity to see what, if any, shenanigans the folks there in New London try to pull off.
Well, they'll have to read the charging documents out loud. That's what arraignments do. They always.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't waive that. I hope they do read them out loud.
The statement of the facts, and so, yeah, you're right. I hope they do read that out loud. I want to hear the government's version of this story, which we all saw on video. That's going to be very interesting.
And for those who didn't know, they saw the end coming. This guy's a dick, asshole, comes out of his house with a gun, threatening a journalist who's simply asking questions.
Yeah.
And who gets arrested? The journalist.
Yeah,
because he had how many time in overtime? He's a Connecticut State Trooper. Had how much in overtime?
75 grand just in overtime.
And he didn't even find the Jennifer Dulos body. I mean, he wasn't out there looking, I don't think, for that 75 grand.
Nope.
Yep. Nope. So anyway, it's got to be exposed to the degree we can do it. So we're happy to help out with that. And I'll chat with him when I can. They're going to have a little demonstration or something at the courthouse that morning as well. So should be entertaining. So thanks for pointing that out, and I'll be happy to take that baton and see if we can spread the word on this. And
the cop spit on him too, didn't he? Spit in his mouth.
Which you can do.
Brutal. Yeah.
He couldn't spit on him.
Yeah.
The cop could spit on Shawn.
Yeah.
Which is just wild.
Yeah.
They said that with a straight face, that I can spit on you, but you can't spit on me. Mm-hmm. Wild.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
And it's just plain. I mean, it's just wrong.
Thanks for bringing that to attention. That's the whore. We figured in the whore tour, because you've had all these questions, all these interviews, but no one's actually asked you about the whore tour. So we're going to go to the E, which we think is probably the most important here.
Yes, expose, which is really all about you. People tie you so closely, obviously, with the Karen Read case, and then your challenges that have spun off of that, the charges that you're fighting now. But it's not like when that's over and Reed is died down, if it ever does, it keeps bouncing back up in other forms. What's the plan? What do you have? Has your focus about what you do, has it changed? What's your plan going forward?
With the Reed case?
With you and your career, your platform, which has changed dramatically since before Karen Read, right?
Yeah, for sure. I guess I kind of do it day by day as these things arise. I go on the next show. I go on vacation next week, and whatever is in my inbox the week after that, we'll cover that. I go day by day. I don't really have any long-term plans besides obviously the movie deal, the documentary, the book I'm planning to write. Yeah, that's about it.
Are you still effectively a one-man band?
Yep. I have Laura from London who does a lot of stuff kind of behind the scenes. You know what I mean? She kind of runs my online store, deals with a lot of customer issues, and runs my YouTube, and runs the Instagram account, actually runs the Facebook. She does a lot. So
yeah, I get that, but I'm talking about the investigator, The
Yes,
guy checking things out.
I don't have anyone else on the payroll who does any sort of journalism or investigating. I probably, maybe I should, maybe I should have some, maybe it's time to hire someone. I don't know.
I
The
don't know.
last person I hired was Kate Peter. So that didn't work out very well.
Yeah, your record is not good on that. Besides, you have a unique perspective and style, and that might get watered down if you delegate some of that stuff.
Yeah, but I used to write a lot. Like I used to publish a lot of articles on tbdailynews.com. I would publish. That's how I made my bones. 3 or 4 articles a day I would publish on there. I was a writer. I wasn't really a YouTuber. Like the YouTube show would be supplemental to the content. Like I would just do it once or twice a week, and I would kind of recap the major stories or whatever. And it was just something fun to do at night. I didn't have that many viewers. Like the blog got a lot more viewership. Now it's the opposite way around. Now I got a lot more viewers on YouTube than I do on the blog because I hardly ever write. So maybe that, and Dave Portnoy at Barstool Sports kind of did the same way. Like back in his earlier days at Barstool, like he used to write blogs multiple times a day. Like that's how he made his bones. Right. Yeah. And, eventually he got bigger and bigger, and he hired more people to write blogs, and he never writes blogs anymore. He's just he's the face of the brand. He's out there and he's doing videos and pizza reviews and, and on Twitter and fucking around. Like that's ultimately kind of the direction that I'm going in, really, is I write significantly less because of taking on a new role here at Turtleboy. It's like my role is like I'm on camera more. I go out in public more. I'm on Twitter more. It's like I'm more doing that stuff, and I can earn a healthy living doing what I'm doing now. As like before I wrote a lot because that's how I would make money. I would make money on ads revenue on the blog itself. But now I have a completely different business model. My business model, most of my revenue comes from Turtle Club. Aside from that, doing my shows and selling merch in the store and, you name it. So it's just a very different business model than it was a few years ago.
Yeah. And by the way, the Turtle Club is people sign up for that $15 a month.
Yeah, $15 a month. It's the best. It's like you get unlimited. You get no ads on the website when you click on it, which are very annoying, those ads. So this right away, your lifestyle improves immediately. And you get access to the Thursday night stream that no one else gets. But most importantly, you are supporting independent journalism and a good cause, because when, like I said, that is my primary source of revenue. So, it's $15 a month. I understand for some people that's more than it is for others. But for me, like if you took $15, I'm not one of these people that like regularly checks I've never been that guy that like regularly checks his bank statements and be like, oh my gosh, there's $50 less here than I thought there was. Like what's happened? I never do that. Like if you were to ask me at any given point, how much money is in your checking account right now? I probably couldn't get within $500 of it. Like if you were like, you have to come within $500 of the exact amount in your checking account. Could you guys do that right now? Get within 500?
No.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not the only one. Exactly. So like my point here is that if you took $15 out of my checking account every month, I don't even fucking notice it. Yeah. It's just like, so that's where you got to look at it. Like if your times are tough and your budget's tight, totally get it. Maybe Turtle Club's not for you. But if you're just like, if you don't even notice it being gone, then the fuck do you care? Just join Turtle Club. You won't even notice it's gone. You'll have a great time. You're supporting a great cause, independent journalism. It's dope. Join the sex cult.
There you go. So let me ask you one follow-up.
There is one question.
Hold on. Let me squeeze a follow-up in here. Do you miss some of the writing that you don't do as often?
I do miss the writing.
Yeah,
I very much miss the writing. Yeah. I used to love doing various stories on ratchets, and man, there were some good ones in there. I do miss that a lot for sure. It's just, and so like, maybe that's what I could, if I were to hire somebody and bring on some people, that's what I would have them do, is just write on, like do the things that I don't have the time for. Write on the website, write articles, keep the website healthy, keep content coming on there. I'll take care of the show. I'll be the face of the brand. I'll do all the other stuff. I'll hold babies and, take pictures and do all that stuff. but you guys run the website, you know, so I think that's what I'd be looking to
cool.
do.
I'll send you my resume.
Right.
I'll send you my resume.
But he is Iron Man. He goes on sometimes from 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock. I mean, you just are Iron Man. It's unbelievable. But I do want to answer this because this is from Megan Lind. I've watched you and read about you for a long time. What do you make of Turtleboy facing 110 years when you have seen and defended the worst? Well, most of my clients have been not guilty, by the way, just so you know, or they have been released when we got Michael Skakel out after serving time because he was wrongfully convicted. What are your thoughts on the law? I think that this is absolute bullshit. I think it's retribution. I think it's outrageous. I think that once Aidan gets these charges dismissed, he's going to have the biggest lawsuit this side of the Mississippi River, maybe even the other side of the Mississippi River. Maybe the K stations will report on it because it's garbage, it's bullshit, it's ridiculous, and he's going to get that statute. Whether he gets convicted or not, he's going to cause that stupid statute to be declared unconstitutional. That's why we ask you to support Aidan Kearney right here and donate to his defense fund. And we thank him so much for coming on the show because we have really, we didn't know him before we started. I know that everyone was like, well, who are these people? But we really felt very strongly. He's laughing about this. And by the way, Michael Dotch, you got to stay around for when after Aidan leaves because I may need you on the Epstein coverage that we're going to be doing. But that's beside the point. Yeah. But we love you.
Aidan, what's the next stop on the tour? Where are you going?
Tomorrow night I will be on the Broken Bakers stream. Oh no, actually tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock. I'm going on with this chick named she goes by MAGA Barbie on social media. Yeah. So I will be jumping on her program tomorrow. Actually, it's on YouTube. I just clicked on it. She sent me the stream link. Let's see here. Yeah, it's on her YouTube channel. It's called TDC Podcast. TDC Podcast.
What time is that going to be?
That is going to be at 3 p.m. tomorrow. I will be on her program. Cool. And then in the evening at 8 o'clock, I will be on with the Broken Baker and his Broken English. And we will be having a good time on there. And then on Thursday is Sex Cult. I don't think I'm on any other programs on Thursday. And then I'm just going into the vacation after that.
Good. Well, I hope you have a great vacation. When is your next hearing? 13th, 14th? What day is it?
August 13th is my next hearing.
I will definitely see you up there for that.
Michael's going to be there.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, bud, thanks. As always, a pleasure. Good to get into some odds and ends that we don't normally get into with you. We appreciate that. And, enjoy the vacation.
Well, thank you guys very much. Always love joining you guys. And I wanted to go to Shawn's thing on Friday. I just found out I have to my daughter has some cheer camp that her mother's got to drive her through, and so I gotta watch my son. So as much as I'd like to take him on a trip to New London, I don't think he'd really like that very much. So I'll be watching.
When you see the video, be kind because I'm not sure what's going to come out of that, but there will be some images and it'll look like a courtroom. And
are you gonna live stream it?
I haven't thought it through that much because we just got the call before we went on the air.
Might as well.
I don't know. Yeah. We'll have to figure that out.
Yeah. Family first,
man. That's right. Enjoy, bud.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
All right, now before you all go, don't leave, okay?
What did you have? You had some stray bits and pieces?
Yeah, no, well, they're important, but I want to thank Aidan for being on. I know that he hasn't had an interview like that. He's been doing a lot of interviews. I don't think he expected the Hortor to be the WHORE. I hope we didn't make him uncomfortable, but I hope he got a lot of information. We will do the breakout of what he gave us on the Lindsay story right? That I think we just got the whole thing right there. And some of it was breaking because some of it he read the letter, the email.
From the grand jury defendant.
From his attorney. So we're probably going to try to get that out right away. But tomorrow morning, I know some of you don't like her because of the Karen Reed case, Julie on Court TV, but I'm going to be on because I've been on a couple of weeks ago with the Epstein case. As you know, Mark Epstein has been on our show. I'm going to be on regarding the Ghislaine Maxwell arranging the interview with the DOJ regarding her Supreme Court appeal that she's supposedly going to meet with Deputy AG Todd Blanche in the coming days to explore a cooperation probe. We'll see what all of that means. I actually did text Mark Epstein tonight to tell him that I was going to be on there tomorrow. Just to let him know, because we have been covering the whole issue of the investigation where he believes that this was a murder. And I think you and I kind of believe that too with regarding his brother. So we'll see what they're going to want from Ghislaine Maxwell to try to support whatever they want to support.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if the DOJ shares what, if anything, they learn with Congress, who is suggesting they're going to subpoena her.
Right.
But there could be some cooperation there that would make that not necessary. But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? And what is she going to actually say that isn't going to get her in trouble, but will help her?
Yeah.
That's
Now,
a
let me
pretty
just say,
delicate-
I didn't ask Jaffe. You can just take your money back. I didn't ask that question because I didn't ask this question because Aidan has said a number of times of who he spoke to, how he got the Karen Reed case. And he told us that he's been very blunt that he is not going to answer the same questions over and over again. So we tried to ask different questions on him. The same with Dennis Brolin. So really, just guys, take your money back, donate it to Aidan, okay, if you would. Okay, because that was one of the things that we said very, very, very strongly. And I hope that Fids that we did when we asked Aidan what he wanted to do next, that he answered.
Hopefully we got an answer for you on that one.
Fids. Answer that. We answer that. And then tomorrow, then we at 11 o'clock, we're going to be covering the Brian Koberger, as we call it, the tears, the grief and all. And then I'm going to be writing an article, which I will have into Fox News, which they will be publishing Thursday morning about the courtroom and the optics and the people and what was said and what was happening from my experience of being a high-profile defense attorney in the courtroom. And then we're going to be coming back on the air at 6 o'clock tomorrow night with Mike Easter. We may even have to ask him some of these questions that Aidan laid out about the grand jury. Maybe Mike will answer some of that. He told us about how the FBI operates. But we're going to be mainly doing Brian Walsh. But
yes, because of the whole cell phone thing, which is Michael Easter's big thing. So now with you have the dilemma with the Koberger case tomorrow. We know that some of the camera angles are broad enough, but you'll want to see what you normally don't want to see in the gallery to see how people are reacting. And so you're going to have to. I hope you can make it through that.
I'm dilemmaed because I don't normally, but I think they're going to be showing. They're going to be showing the families.
Well, certainly those making statements.
And I want to see what I do want to see what Brian. I don't really care about the gal. I want to see the family, and I want to see Koberger. I want to see how the attorney reacts. And I want to see whether Koberger actually is going to put on a face of like sorrow, regret, or whatever, or whether he's going to put on a face of I'm going to be the tough guy in prison when I'm going to prison with those gangs. He's be the white guy. He's going to have a real tough time in prison. So I really want to see. I want to see that. And so for Fox Digital. I'll be doing that article. Hopefully, I'll have that in by 4, and they're going to be publishing it on Thursday.
Cool.
Oh, Michael Bryan, I may need your help.
Nah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so that's all we got for you. And so tomorrow begins at 11 our time, 11 Eastern Daylight Time. So are we going to come on right at 11 or like a few minutes before? Have we worked that out?
No, I don't know. Missy, I think you have it set for 11. So I guess we're coming
we know there's going to be some...
so I think we're going to come on right. We're going to come on right at 11, and then we're going to probably do commentary for 2 hours, and then we won't do commentary, but we'll keep the stream up since I have to watch the stream anyhow because we then have to prepare for Mike Easter's show at 6. And I think there was some talk about the hearing maybe going 2 days on Koberger going to Thursday.
Really?
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll play by ear. It'll be here first thing in the morning, and then we'll just kind of see how it unfolds.
And then you heard that on Thursday right now, I haven't, let me look to see whether he's confirmed. Auntie Deb is going to be on, I have to go to, first of all, I have to go to Justice Serve TV, and I have to go to our mail, and I have to see whether, he hasn't yet confirmed yet for Thursday, but I'm sure he will. Missy, you're going to stay on top of Jimmy, Auntie Deb.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a man of his word or a woman of his word, depending on which name.
He's great. He's great. And he's one of the people that Aidan wants to interview him.
When they do a theater show. Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
So,
all right, then.
Enjoy this.
And one more thing for Jennifer in Boston. Hey, we're not just credentialed in this upcoming hearing. We're the pool camera. All right. So suck on that, Jennifer. Okay.
Here's my manicure. It's out to the side again. Okay.
Okay.
All right. But in the meantime, you have to hit for Justice Serve T. Please hit the subscribe. Okay. Right now, subscribe. You got over 30,000 of you just like watching right now. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe because we're at 25,000 and like the 9 months. We're really trying to, everyone's really happy how we're moving along here. Hit the like as again now. You can hit the like even afterwards. You can already hit the thumbnails that are up for tomorrow. For both of them, hit the like now. That gets us pushed out for tomorrow. Not pushed out in a bad way, pushed out in a good way. The share.
Pushed out like the birth of a baby pushed out?
Yeah, that is hard. I don't. You haven't experienced that.
Probably not going to.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. The share and the subscribe button, and we are Justice Served TV, and we plan to be with you.
Yep, Michael Bryant here. Until then, try to do the right thing.